FMA. Today we're going to be going over the freshman audio kits and what you'll need to know to use them. Our setup today is just based around the TASCAM DR40 or the DR40X. Both of them are essentially the same. We've got ourselves a shotgun mic here, an XLR cable, and a set of headphones as well. This is your TASCAM. To power it on, you hit this button right here. You hold it down until you see the boot up screen. This TASCAM system runs on AA batteries, which the FMA equipment office does not provide, so you will want to probably have some backups. The ones that we send out typically have been used. So once we have our TASCAM booted up, oftentimes the first thing we'll see is this prompt about phantom power. We'll go ahead and hit yes because the microphone that we're using today, the ME66, does need phantom power. And all that phantom power is the recorder sending power to the mic through the XLR input. Not every mic needs this. A lot of dynamic mics, for example, don't need phantom power. And there's no reason to send it because it'll drain your battery quicker. The ME66, for example, can be powered through either phantom power, or you can put a AA battery inside of it internally. And you can switch whether or not phantom power is on also using this switch on the side. For example, if the switch is set to line in, at boot up you won't get the prompt about phantom power. This just means that it's taking inputs from the 1/4 inch ins. The other setting here, mic, is just a regular old input like these XLR inputs. Here's our shotgun mic. A shotgun mic just refers to the hypercardioid pickup pattern, which this microphone has, which is good for filming because you can isolate different people's dialogue by pointing the mic directly at them. The pickup pattern is very long and narrow versus a dynamic mic with a cardioid pickup pattern, for example, which would mostly only pick up audio from directly in front of it. So this is an essential filmmaking tool. We've got also our headphones, which you'll have to unscrew the 1/4 inch adapter that comes in the kit, and once you have the 1/8 inch, the 1/8 inch input goes into this little aux type input right here. You have to be very gentle with the 1/8 inch input. One of the most common things that we see broken on these TASCAM systems is this little line in, so be very gentle. So now we'll take a look at the menu system. From this main screen you can see your folder that you're recording into, the length of the recording that you have, the name of the file, and once we arm the track for recording you'll be able to see your levels and whether you're peaking. Just hitting the record button one time doesn't mean you're recording. This can be kind of deceptive. You can see the word pre here right next to your time code, and you can see the time code isn't moving. In order to actually record, you'll need to hit the record button a second time, and flashing will become solid, and now you can see the time code is moving, and all of this audio is going to be written into a file on the SD card. So I'll go ahead and stop the recording by hitting this button. This button right here will take you to a menu, which is really important. You can select different record modes. For example, right now we're set to mono, which is just going to be one of these inputs right here. It will create a file that has a single channel, versus stereo, for example, which creates a file that has 2 channels, one for each ear. And we have the source set to the external input left. But we can also select different inputs. And for example, this internal mono setting takes an input from the built-in TASCAM mic, which works best actually in stereo. So when we switch to stereo, you'll see the source is internal stereo, and that's these 2 mics right here, which are good for capturing, sound effects and ambience and things like that. There's a few other recording modes that are a little bit more complicated, such as the 4-channel mode, which will take an input from both the left and right channel as well as the internal stereo and create 2 files really it's just good to experiment with all of these and see what the strengths of each one are. One tricky thing about the TASCAM is it's a little bit tough to reach the SD card. You will need to get the SD card out to access your files, or you can use one of these micro USB cables plugged into your computer's USB in. But I recommend using like a coin or a card to lift open this little flap, because otherwise it can be really tricky to do with your fingers. And there's the SD card right there. So that is about it for the TASCAM. If we want to power off, all we got to do is do the same thing that we did when we powered on. And we just hold this button over here. There we go. So the last thing that I want to show you today is how to wrap an XLR cable. It's pretty important to be neat about it. We will ask you to rewrap your XLR cables if they're messy at return. So you'll start with one of the ends of the XLR cable in your non-dominant hand, and you'll hold it like this. And as you can see, if I let the cable slack a little bit, you can see that there is kind of like a natural curvature to the way that it sits, and you kind of want to guide the natural curvature into the shape that you want. For audio cables, we want to do over-under, because what happens is if you do over-over, things get coiled up. Over-over would be like every one of these coils is kind of coiling in the same direction. Over-under is the coils alternate. Like you can see that every other coil I go sort of the opposite direction. Like this is over, this is under. And what that does is when we have the cable coiled up and we want to uncoil it for whatever we're doing, this will net zero to be able to unfold, whereas the over would have a bunch of coils in it. So yeah, this part is sort of tricky to get this motion. You're kind of taking your dominant hand and like twisting the cable into the proper position, but you can't fight it too much. You want to give it a good 6 to 12 inches in terms of the actual diameter of the circle that we're making. And once it's all coiled up, you can take the cable tie, which is included, and you just Velcro it together. And that is a nice, neat XLR cable.
So this is what it would look like if I had my entire microphone set up on a boom pole. Boom pole holds it for you so you don't get that friction when you touch it over here. And TASCAM's in my pocket, and then I wrapped up my XLR cable on top of it. And then we're ready to shoot. Sir, can you state your name? He's not very good at this.